Jurgen Klopp left Liverpool. I know, it sounds like a nightmare, but it actually happened. And guess what? The guy taking over doesn't have any experience in the top 5 European leagues. So why would Liverpool go for someone like Arne Slot when there were big names like Thomas Tuchel or Zinedine Zidane available? Who even is Arne Slot? What are his tactics? And how is he going to change Liverpool's playing style so radically? Let's dive in and find out. His playing career wasn't exactly glamorous. He started at PEC Zwolle, broke into their first team, and helped them win the second-tier title in 2002. That success got him to a move to NAC Breda, where he played for 5 years before winding down his career with a stint at Sparta Rotterdam. Then he had an emotional return to Zwolle, where he snagged another league title. Those 2 trophies were the only major silverware he picked up as a player. But here's the interesting part. Even though Slot wasn't a big star on the pitch, his coaching brain was already firing on all cylinders. His former teammate Bram van Pollen said Arne was always working with the boys in training, like he was already preparing to be a coach. Another ex-colleague, Edwin de Graaf, said something similar in an interview with The Athletic. He mentioned that you could tell Slot was destined to be a coach. He was always asking the coach why they were using certain tactics and would discuss pressing or defending strategies with the team. He'd say, "Why are we doing it this way? Wouldn't it be better to try this?" But he did it in such a respectful way, always looking for the coach's opinion and quickly spotting what the opponents were up to. So yeah, Arne Slot might not have had the flashiest playing career, but he's got the mind of a football genius. That's why Liverpool's taking a gamble. And so, Zwolle clearly saw something special in Arne Slot, because as soon as he retired in 2013, they offered him a youth coaching position. They knew this guy had the potential to be a top-notch coach. After a few years, Slot got a chance with Cambuur's senior team in an interim role. Then came his big break. John van der Brom brought him in as an assistant at AZ Alkmaar. Fast forward 2 years, and Slot stepped up to the head coach role at AZ. He made a seriously impressive start. When the 2019-20 season was cut short because of the COVID-19 pandemic, AZ were only behind leaders Ajax on goal difference with 9 games left. Talk about a close race. To put that in perspective, the season before, AZ finished 28 points behind Erik ten Hag's Ajax. Slot's promotion to head coach totally transformed the club. Now, his second full season wasn't quite as epic since Ajax dominated the league, but Slot still led AZ to a solid 3rd place finish. The Cheese Farmers, seriously, what a cool nickname, ended just 1 point behind a way more expensive PSV Eindhoven squad. With his stock rising, Arne Slot was picked to reignite some passion at Feyenoord after 2 years of uninspiring football under Dick Advocaat. Even though they lost their top scorer, Steven Berghuis, to Ajax, things started looking up quickly. In his first season, Slot guided Feyenoord to 3rd place. His team scored 10 more Eredivisie goals than they did in Advocaat's last season and conceded 2 fewer. They even made it to the Europa Conference League final, though they lost to Jose Mourinho's Roma. Feyenoord were often called a sleeping giant, but that was no longer the case these days. Slot's efforts earned him the Rinus Michels Award, which is given to the best coach in the Netherlands. But the next season was even better. After a massive revamp in the 2022 summer transfer window, with key players like Tyrell Malacia, Luis Sinestra and Marcos Senesi leaving, Slot somehow managed to improve the squad while making a nice profit from player sales. Apart from maybe 3 or 4 starters, the entire 11 left. They then brought in like 15 new players, and everyone expected that season to be a transition season. But it was anything but a transition season, with new signings like David Hancho, Quinton Timber and Santiago Gimenez making an immediate impact. Feyenoord thrashed Vitesse 5-2 on the opening day. This set the tone for one of the best seasons in the club's modern era, with Slot's team winning the league title. This success attracted strong interest from Premier League clubs, but Slot decided to stay. Feyenoord might have finished top again this season if not for PSV Eindhoven being almost perfect in the Eredivisie. Still, Slot's team got the better of PSV in the KNVB Cup, beating them in the round of 16 before going on to lift the trophy after an exciting final against NEC. Arne Slot's results speak for themselves. But that's not the only reason he's quickly become one of the most sought-after coaches in Europe. What's even more impressive than the titles he's won at Feyenoord is how he's completely overhauled the club's playing style. Under Dick Advocaat, Feyenoord played it safe. Slot He's got a totally different view. This guy is a disciple of Pep Guardiola and has made Feyenoord super attacking. Just look at how many goals they've scored since he took over. Slot even mentioned Guardiola's City and Klopp's Liverpool as beautiful examples of the style he likes to play. Usually, Slot sets up in a 4-3-3. Both fullbacks push high and wide, while the wingers often move inside to create devastating rotations in the middle. Players are encouraged to take on their opponents too. No Eredivisie team has registered a higher progressive carrying distance this season. Slot's tactics are more Guardiola than Klopp, but Arne Slot's tactical preference for a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1 formation is a central theme that Liverpool fans should take note of. This setup involves two midfielders dropping deep to receive passes from the defenders, facilitating rapid ball movement wide and providing a crucial defensive shield. This structure also supports the fullbacks, allowing them to push forward aggressively when attacking opportunities arise. The effectiveness of this approach is underscored by Feyenoord's defensive performance under Slot's guidance. They have conceded significantly fewer shots than any other team in Europe's top 10 leagues this season, with only 260 shots faced compared to Liverpool's 414. Additionally, Feyenoord have conceded just 26 goals, placing them among the teams with the fewest goals conceded, and they have kept 17 clean sheets, ranking 7th in this regard. While it's acknowledged that the Eredivisie may not be as competitive as the Premier League, these defensive statistics are highly encouraging for Liverpool supporters. They contrast starkly with Liverpool's defensive struggles towards the end of the 2023-24 campaign, suggesting that Slot's tactical approach could provide the stability and defensive solidity that Liverpool needs moving forward. These two midfielders play pivotal roles in Slot's system. They're involved in building attacks, occupying half spaces, pressing high, and even dropping deep to maintain defensive compactness. Considering Liverpool's current midfield situation, with Wataru Endo not a long-term solution and Stefan Basic recovering from injury, there's a glaring need for a new number 6 or another midfielder who can thrive in Slot's preferred system. Clearly, Arne Slot seems to suit Liverpool from a tactical standpoint. But let's be real, having good ideas is one thing. At a club as big as Liverpool, being able to communicate those ideas clearly, handle egos, and deal with the pressure is probably even more important. The good news for Liverpool fans is that Slot's got plenty of admirers who praise his straight-talking man management skills. Former Feyenoord captain Jan Toonstra, who Slot controversially dropped in his first full season, said Slot knows how to touch and motivate players. Slot's unconventional training methods have also been praised. According to The Telegraph, at his first Feyenoord season, he played clips from the 2021 Champions League final between Chelsea and Manchester City. He asked his players why there were so few chances being created despite the world-class attackers on the field. The point he was making? How crucial pressing is in the modern game. Slot went on to highlight the lack of running Feyenoord did under Advocaat compared to their Dutch rivals. This guy knows how to get his message across and make it stick. The rondo is king in Arne Slot's training sessions, just like it is with Guardiola, but Slot has his own twist. He instructs his squads to only ever take one touch and forbids the ball from returning to the previous passer. This approach is designed to improve awareness of where everyone is on the field, and it's working. Under Slot, Feyenoord's average possession increased each of his 3 seasons in charge. Player development is also a big part of Slot's strategy. Feyenoord's budget was way smaller compared to Ajax and PSV, yet they consistently punched above their weight. This is largely thanks to Slot's magic touch with player improvement. Take Santiago Gimenez, for example. When the Mexican striker arrived at Feyenoord, he was scoring about 1 goal every 4 games in Liga MX. But last season, under Slot's guidance, he scored 21 goals in just 29 games. Now, some of the biggest clubs in the world are keeping an eye on him. It all sounds very promising from a Liverpool perspective, but there are a few lingering doubts about whether Slot would be a success at Anfield. Is Slot a big enough personality to handle the brightest of spotlights? The uncertain futures of Mohamed Salah and Darwin Núñez will be tricky situations to deal with too. So what do you guys think? Will Arne Slot be able to handle the pressure and bring glory back to Anfield? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. See you in the next video.